A couple of weeks ago, just before the first lockdown, I got hold of a lot of lemons, and I decided to make limoncello. Now, before I start, let me just clear up two legalities or two legal matters. Firstly, this is not a Creative Cuisine Pantry product. We don't sell alcohol. We don't allow alcohol in the factory. This is a little private venture of my own. And secondly, I'm also not breaking any laws. The method we use to make our limoncello is exactly the same as if you pour yourself a tot of gin, add the tonic and add a slice of lemon. Exactly the same thing, so don't worry, I'm not breaking any laws here. Okay, so what you need is obviously lemons, you need alcohol. What I usually do is I buy vodka, the cheapest vodka there is. Vodka is the alcohol with the most neutral taste, and you need sugar and you need water. So firstly, what I did is I use a potato peeler or a vegetable peeler, and I just peel the part of the rind or the skin of the lemon. Just the skin. I don't go too deep. I don't go and cut into the white, the pith of the lemon. That might be too bitter, and that's all you use. I used about 20 lemons for 1.5 liters of vodka, and what I then did is, about 2 weeks ago, I poured the vodka into this jar, and I added the skin or the rind or the zest of about 20 lemons. Now, the first time that I saw or came into contact with limoncello was in Italy, in that region close to Naples, Capri, Vesuvio, Amalfi, Positano. They've got these fantastic big lemons, thick skin lemons, and I think I have a picture of it somewhere. And yeah, okay, you probably see the picture now. That is Alet in Italy. I think it's near Vesuvius, the entrance to Vesuvius. At one of the tourist stalls there, we saw those massive big lemons. And in that area, it's also customary to, at the end of a meal at a restaurant, when the waiter presents the bill to you, or also to give you a little shot of limoncello. It's sweet and it's lemony. It's got a little bit of alcohol, and it's a great way to end off, to round off a meal. Here's the vodka and the skin. It's been on the skin for about 14 days now. Some recipes recommend as short as 4 days, and other recipes go as long as a month. So in the past I've done 14 days, it's more than enough. Okay, so and now your other ingredients that you need is, I have to use my glasses and my notes. So I have the 1.5 liters of vodka, 20 lemons, 10 cups of water. It's already in on the stove, and also 8 cups of sugar. So what you do is you start your stove. There you go. Okay, now half of my sugar is already in here. I use a wooden spoon, and if you don't have a wooden spoon, just ask any Blue Bull supporter. You'll have some. Okay, then I stir. Now the important thing here is to get all your sugar dissolved before your water starts boiling. So just stir, see that double bubble, toil and trouble, fire burn and cauldron bubble method that I use. I've got half the sugar here, the rest is there. I've already measured my water. Okay, it's now time to add the rest of the sugar. There we are. Now, I've already given the one tip, and that is to get your sugar dissolved before the water starts boiling. The reason for that is, otherwise, if you still got sugar left and the water boils, you run the risk of it'll start crystallizing later. And also, as soon as it starts boiling, I keep it on the boil for another 10 minutes, and that way I make sure that it will never crystallize. So we carry on and stir. It's our wooden spoon while we wait for the water to boil. Okay, let me briefly tell you about my beer brewing experience now. I started about seven years ago when the beer brewing craze started. Went down to Beer Guevara, bought all this stuff, and I decided I'm going to do it the conservative old-fashioned way. Now, beer brewing is different than making limoncello. Beer brewing is more of a science. You can be accurate, your measurements, your temperature, everything has to be correct, your timing has to be correct. So the first one I brewed was an American Amber Ale, which was, I think, about the best beer that I ever brewed, the very first one, beginner's luck. The yield was 13 bottles, 13 times 300 ml, it's just less than 4 liters. My cost at that stage was 2,000 rand, so about 500 rand a liter, almost the same price as a computer printer ink. And but as I made more other brews, the economies of scale kicked in, and I eventually became much more affordable. It was still slightly more expensive than commercial beer, but it was fun to make. And I made a Belgian blonde, which I called Die Wit Wolf. I made a Guinness, Die Swart Gevaar was its name. It tasted great, but it somehow, when you poured it, it didn't make that white foamy head, so it wasn't as successful as I would have liked it to be. But then I decided, okay, it's time to make a lager. We grew up on lager. My father played league tennis, and I used to join him at the tennis club when I was young, and I was allowed to have one sip of Lion lager. Alette was traveling at the time when I started this process, but I took a shortcut. I bought a tin full of gooey, syrupy stuff, and I followed the instructions. You boil it, you add water, and I can't remember what else you add, and then I poured it into 25-liter containers. I stored it for 2 weeks, and then I tasted it again, and it was really cold at the time, and maybe all the fermentations and all the magic didn't happen, but it still tasted sweet to me. In other words, all the sugar hasn't changed into alcohol or whatever that's got to change into. And also didn't have that kick, but I decided, okay, it's now time to bottle. And I bottled everything, but I decided just to give it the extra kick, I'll add a half a teaspoon of brewer's sugar to each bottle. Okay, bottled it, put it away. Then I spoke to a friend of mine, he's a winemaker, but he brews and he distills, and he was sort of giving me advice, and he said, look, you're looking for trouble, that stuff is going to explode. But I've read somewhere that bottle can take 7 bars, so I wasn't too worried. So I waited another week or so, and one evening I got home and decided, okay, well maybe I should see whether I can rescue this lot, my lager. And I sterilized another 25-liter container right here in the kitchen. I had the bottles, and I opened the first one with the waiter's friend. As I touched the bottle with the waiter's friend, the top just blew off. I thought, okay, well, that's going to be easy, and I poured the first one, second one, top shot off, hit the ceiling, and I poured. About the fourth one or so, the moment I touched the bottle with the waiter's friend, the bottle shot out of my hand into the corner here, hit the cupboard, on the floor, glass breaking. The place smelled like a pub on a Sunday morning. Alette came out running, she was back from her travels that stage, big eyes, and I said, oh, go back, it's immense stuff here. So I decided, okay, I'll take it outside into the quad, because I want to rescue my lager. And I also opened a few, tops blew off, and I poured it, and so. And about the 8th or 9th or 10th bottle, the moment I touched the bottle disappeared. And I was looking around, and what the hell happened now? And at that stage also, in the drum was a nice foamy white head, but then I noticed some red drops in the beer. And I checked, oh goodness, my hand's been cut. So I decided, okay, well, let's stop this. I'm going to rather get rid of the beers. And there was an empty black wheelie bin, and I opened bin, and I took the bottle, it's still closed, and I chucked it into the bin, but it hit the bottom of the bin and shot out over my head onto the roof of the house and started running down, fell and broke right in front of me. So I thought, okay, well, this can be dangerous. So I stood behind the wheelie bin, took the lid with my left hand, opened it up, chucked the bottle in, closed again, massive explosion. And I did that 10 times in a row. Boom, boom, boom. It's like a little boy playing with breaking glass. Then I stopped to go and fetch another box of beers that I got rid of, and I realized, goodness me, all the dogs in the neighborhood are going ballistic, and ADT was stopping outside the door, outside the gate, and my neighbor from across the road is coming with his Alsatian and a pistol in his hand, and I explained to him, it's not a shootout, it's only my beers that are exploding. So I got rid of them, and I chucked the last of the 2 or 3 boxes in, but the very last bottle didn't explode. But I started cleaning up here in the kitchen, and Alette was sort of peeping around the corner with big brown eyes. What the hell's going on? And I said, it's a war, it's a men's game. Go back into the house. At that stage, our ginger cat, Yakuminia, was tripping along, and he was smelling everything, and she put her nose next to the wheelie bin. And that very second, that last bottle exploded, and she just gave one squeal, jumped over the wall, and came back about 2 days later. Yeah, so I haven't been brewing since, but now it's time to start again. What do you think? Okay, a couple of hours have now elapsed. My sugar syrup mixture has now cooled down sufficiently to have it mixed. It took some time to cool down, so maybe I suggest you let it cool down overnight. If you do it, then you don't have to wait for it to cool down. You can go on with other tasks. I've also, in the meantime, strained the vodka and lemon peel into the bowl. I've added the sugar syrup, gave it a stir, and I also then had a test glass. Yeah, it tastes good, it still tastes fresh. But then I also remembered, in the fridge I have 3 or 4 bottles of my previous batch I made about at least 4 years ago. It has been in the fridge ever since. And I collected that bottle, poured another glass, tasted that. I was a bit worried it's too old. But it still tastes very, very good. It reminds me of a noble late harvest, but in a lemony style. So this shows you the alcohol and the sugar will see that it lasts for a long time. This is the thing about these bottles. It's a 375ml long, tall, sexy bottle. This is the version that I think Consul made themselves locally in South Africa, and this one was imported from France. Minor differences between the bottle, but I see that I had a look on Consul's website this morning, and they don't list these bottles anymore. So it just shows the importance of recycling all your glassware. Now I've washed these, I've sterilized it, I'm ready to start pouring, and apparently I can keep it for a long time. So there you have it. You can make your own. During the lockdown, you're going to struggle to get hold of some alcohol unless you distill it yourself. I've never done that. I don't necessarily recommend that. Or just wait until the winter starts, and the lemon trees will carry, and you can maybe your favorite liquor shop will open again. You can buy a bottle or 2 of vodka and start to make your own limoncello. Yeah, it's very interesting. It reminds me of the places that I visit, of interesting visits and enjoyable places. And I've enjoyed it, and I don't think I'll wait 4 years again. Maybe we should do it on an annual basis. Thank you.